So the reason I start up here on Wearyall Hill is because you've got a view of the whole of the old Isle of Avalon. You can see the flat lands around us, the Somerset levels. This was water only 200 years ago, and 500 years ago the Dutch were employed to come and irrigate this land, and for agricultural use. Still today, this side here floods, and we have a lake here in the winter a lot of the time. Very deep. Sometimes about seven foot deep in places. So a pretty large lake. In the 60s, I was told that the kids used to ice skate on this side here before this housing estate was built. But they put some drainage in behind the blue roof there, which drainage. All the water comes out underneath that housing estate there. Avalon means land of the apples. It means Eble land. It's old English for land of the apples, because when Joseph of Arimathea, who was the great uncle of Christ, came here 2,000 years ago, he would have brought a lot of plants and trees and animals and crops to start a new community from nothing, basically. And apples came from the eastern parts of Europe, and still today we're very famous here in Somerset for our cider, the alcoholic cider, and apple juice. So the apple kind of industry is still going on here, and we still have a lot of orchards around Glastonbury. So one of the things that one of the trees that was brought here was this holy thorn tree, so they say. And the reason we believe that this tree was brought here by Joseph of Arimathea and Mary Magdalene is because this tree is not indigenous to these lands. We have hawthorn, which this is part of the hawthorn family, but the holy thorn actually not only flowers in Easter, but also in the winter solstice. So we have a big celebration still today where the local kids are allowed to cut a sprig of the blossom from the holy thorn tree and down in the St. John's Church. So it's still very celebrated today. Unfortunately, this tree was destroyed in 2010, but the story lives on. And the story goes that Joseph of Arimathea, the great uncle of Christ, and Mary Magdalene and Mary the mother and some of the apostles, 12 of them in total, came to these shores after the crucifixion of Christ, because they were concerned that they could continuing the teachings, they were going to get crucified themselves or ridiculed or blacklisted by the Roman army. And so they travelled a number of months through France to get here. And the reason they came here is because King Aravagus, the Druid king that lived here 2,000 years ago, and he owned all the whole southwest of England, which later became the Kingdom of Wessex when the Saxons came here. Which Wessex means West Saxon, and that was the last great kingdom of Britain before it became the United Kingdom. Joseph of Arimathea, his father, was also a trader. Both Joseph of Arimathea and his father were traders, and they would bring silks and spices over from the east here to England, and they gathered up the materials to make tin cups and tin plates and tin utensils in this area, because the tin mines were down, especially down in Cornwall, but they got lead from the hills, the Mendip Hills up here, and would take the tin back to Israel to trade. So actually we believe that Joseph of Arimathea's mother was a local lady, and her name was Anna Maria, and she was the grandmother of Christ, and she lived the rest of her life here. But Mary the mother came over to Israel with Joseph of Arimathea, maybe to study, and so that's how the link here. So actually, Christ was a Somerset boy, possibly, but we don't know. And so there's a strong link here. and so this was an ideal place to come and hide out away from the Roman army, because this land actually was protected by the Roman from the Roman kind of invasion, because King Aravegus was quite a powerful king. There was the Fossway Road, the Roman road up here, and everything, we believe, the other side of that road was Roman occupation, and this side was occupied by King Aravegus and his kingdom.
Is it